Welcome back. What's going on, y'all? I am Z. This is Z Sports and Entertainment. And we 2 weeks into the college football season. 3 weeks if you include week 0. But anyway, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's recap week 2 college football. Let's do it. We're gonna pop it off with the Thursday night game. Murray State, Louisville. Louisville took care of business 56-0. I ain't really got to talk too much about that. In-state rival, Indiana State, Indiana. Indiana bouncing back after Ohio State last week. Probably felt good to put some points on the board. Kansas, Illinois. Kansas is very interesting to me. Probably one of the best teams they've had in a long time. Daniels, the quarterback, looks like he's going to be the real deal, no joke. It's just a matter of once we get into conference play, can they be competitive enough to compete with the Oklahomas, the Oklahoma State, the Texases, and so on and so on. We'll see. Now we finna get into it for real. Ball State, Georgia. Georgia took care of business 45-0. They look good. They look good on both sides of the ball. My only concern with Georgia is that I hope we don't get complacent playing underwhelming competition. We got South Carolina next week. That's going to be our first. I feel like that's going to be a good opening SEC matchup. It's going to give us a little bit of taste of the physicality. It's going to give us a little bit of what we're looking forward to for the rest of the season. So I just hope we don't get complacent with the UT Martins and the Ball States, and hope we can come out next week and take care of business against Spencer Rattler in South Carolina. Move on, number 2, Michigan, UNLV. Michigan took care of business 35-0. J.J. McCarthy looked pretty good, not even going to lie. We'll get to Michigan later on in the season when they start playing somebody. Southern Miss and Florida State. Florida State looked pretty good, 66-13. They look like they're starting to put themselves back in the upper echelons of football. Win the games you're supposed to win, and the games against competitive ranked opponents, you need to win over half of those. You need to be dominant. And so far against LSU and Southern Miss, they've been dominant. Travis Jordan is for real. Like that kid a lot. Don't know how I want to look at him as far as an NFL quarterback yet, but right now he's definitely in my top 5 Heisman conversation. Youngstown State versus Ohio State. Marvin Harrison Jr. got loose. 6 receptions for 170 and 2 tuds. He's scary. He is. He different. He different. He is very different. I'm a Georgia fan, and I'd be lying if I sat here and said that I don't know if we win that game if he don't get hurt. So, shout out Marvin Harrison. They got to figure it out on offense, though. Ryan, they got to figure out what he's going to do. Now, it's not necessarily the quarterback. It's a little bit of everything. It's just execution. It just ain't there yet. Stanford, USC. This was ugly. I think it was 49-3 in the second quarter or halftime or something like that. USC looked damn good. Both sides of the ball. USC looked good. Can't even really get too much into it. They look good. Caleb Williams has had 3 damn near perfect games. They look good. Stanford, I don't know. It ain't going to get no easier in the ACC. I don't know where Stanford goes from here. I mean, they are 1-1 still early in the season, but only being able to put up 10 points. I understand USC is USC, but you're still a Power 5 team, man. You got to do something. Delaware versus number 7 Penn State. Penn State just took care of business, 63-7. I'm gonna just leave it right there. Tulsa versus Washington. We talked a lot about Michael Penix Jr. last year. Same thing. 409 yards, 3 touchdowns. I don't really know what else to say other than that. This kid's a baller. Michael Penix Jr. is a baller. He's also up there. I kind of feel the same way about him as I feel about Florida State's quarterback. Definitely on my Heisman watch. Don't know how I want to look at him as an NFL quarterback yet, but Washington is looking good. Washington is looking damn good. Tennessee, Austin Peay. Tennessee wins that game 30-0. Joe Milton. So far, so good. So far, so good. What I've seen out of this game is Tennessee's got a hell of a backfield. They do. They have a hell of a backfield. I mean, you got Joe Milton, who's already kind of a dual threat somewhat. Then you got Jalen Wright and Jabari Small, who can both go over 100 yards. Tennessee is going to be our biggest problem in the SEC East. We know this. I knew this coming in. We know this. Notre Dame, North Carolina State. Notre Dame moves to 3-0. Sam Hartman just keeping the train going. Like I said, it's going to be hard to see where he ends up after because it's a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, you got Caleb Williams, Drake May, Quinn Ewers. I'm just saying. It's some guys. It's Shedeur Sanders. It's some guys. It's some guys. So we'll see where Sam Hartman ends up. But if he keeps playing the way he's playing at Notre Dame, it's going to be hard to keep him out of the upper half of the draft. Let's move on to Texas and Alabama. This was a damn good game. A lot of people are criticizing Jalen Milroe. I don't feel like that's fair. This was his first real pressure. I truly feel. Last year he got to start against Texas A&M and he did handle his business. But what he did show against Texas was so much promise. You take away those 2 interceptions, Jalen Milroe he's a baller. He has a lot to offer. His ability to be able to get outside of the pocket on almost every play. His deep ball accuracy is a lot better than a lot of people think. His deep ball accuracy, might be better than his short and intermediate game. That pass he threw to Jermaine Burton, dime. I love Milroe. I think he's going to be a good player. I think he's going to do good things at Alabama. This is redeemable. You run the table in the SEC West. You meet up with whoever you're going to meet up with in the SEC championship game. This is very bounce backable from, and especially if Texas is going to be this good. That's a quality loss. I think it's better now. As far as Texas, on the other hand, A.D. Mitchell. Fucking A.D. Mitchell, man. Should still be a Georgia Bulldog. He should still be in black and red. But I get it. I understand. You did what you came to Georgia to do. You won your 2 national championships, even though you could have went for 3. I get it. Go to Texas. Quinn Ewers, hot name, extreme arm talent. Quinn Ewers is ridiculous. I don't want to get too caught up on this game, but I can talk about this game for a minute. Quinn Ewers, A.D. Mitchell, Sanders, the tight end, number 0, and the defensive end, Hill Jr., Texas, ballers. They look like an SEC team. I'm a lot more confident and comfortable with them coming to the SEC now after seeing that. I hope they in the West, though. I don't want to see them in the SEC East. Give us Oklahoma. Y'all take Texas. Let's keep it moving, man. Let's keep it moving. Number 12, Utah, up against Baylor. Utah almost bit the bullet on this one. 20-13 over Baylor. Baylor had a pretty bad loss last week. Was that the Texas State? I think it was. Baylor had a pretty bad loss last week. Utah, they might have been a little bit on a high horse after the Florida game, but they were able to pull it out 20-13. That's number 12 team in the country. Yeah, 12 team. They're 2-0. Oregon, Texas Tech. Question marks surrounding Oregon now because Texas Tech lost 1 last week. Or did they lose to Texas State? Either Baylor or Texas Tech lost to Texas State last week. I can't remember which one. But anyway, I don't know. Oregon didn't look convincing. They didn't look like the number 13 team in the country. Bo Nix looked like Bo Nix, but they didn't look like the number 13 team in the country. I'm curious to see all these Pac-12 teams, and it's kind of messed up because my bar as far as the Pac-12 right now is Colorado. Kind of sad, but it is. It's Colorado. So in my opinion, I won't know what these teams actually are until they play Colorado. Not to say that Colorado's the best team in the Pac-12, but like that's the team. Excuse me. That's the team I need to see these guys play in order to know, like, okay, they're for real. But yeah, Oregon, we'll see. We'll see. LSU, huge bounce back win after the Florida State debacle. 72-10 over Grambling. I mean, it is Grambling. Jaden Daniels actually looked like the Heisman person that everybody said he was going to look like, but again, it was Grambling. Let's keep it moving. We got Troy and Kansas State. Kansas State looked better than I thought they was going to look. They did. No Martinez, no Deuce Vaughn. They look good. Howard looked like he going to be able to do it at Kansas State. I don't know if he's going to be able to win back-to-back Big 12 championships with the way Texas is playing, but they look good. They look real good. They look damn good. Who we got? We got Oregon State, DJ Uiagalelei against UC Davis, 55-7. Watch out for Oregon State. Watch out for Oregon State, for real. Pac-12 loaded. It's so messed up that they're not going to exist next year. Like, this is crazy to me. But they loaded, man. Number 17, North Carolina up against Appalachian State. North Carolina in these close-ass games, man. Double overtime win at home against Appalachian State. Something else. Appalachian State might want to consider moving up. I could easily see Appalachian State in the American Conference, Conference USA. I could see them doing legit damage. They might need to get out of that FBS. They might need to get out of that FCS and move up because they have the fan base, they have the atmosphere, they have the college culture, and they seem to get some damn good talent. I think they should consider that. Drake may pull it out in the end, and we'll see. But I don't know if North Carolina going to be able to keep it up with these close victories. SMU versus Oklahoma, future ACC versus SEC matchup. That's so weird. Oklahoma took care of business, 28-11. Dylan Gabriel looks pretty damn good this year. Frank Venable might have been able to figure it out. He might have figured it out, but we'll see. I'm going to keep saying that. We'll see. It's so early, y'all. It's so early. Kind of the surprise of the week, in my opinion. Number 19, Wisconsin goes down against Washington State. Cameron Ward, quarterback, Washington State, baller. Sleeper Heisman, it's a lot of names out there. It's a lot of names. You look at these box scores, it's a lot of 3, 4, 5 touchdown performances. Like, these offenses are lighting it up. But Cameron Ward probably had one of the most impressive games because just what they were able to do against Wisconsin, completely shutting down Wisconsin's run game. Forcing Wisconsin's quarterback to throw the ball down the field. Didn't initiate any turnovers. I'm lying, actually. They didn't initiate any turnovers through the air. Washington State forced 3 fumbles and recovered all 3 of them, but them being able to completely neutralize the run game of Wisconsin, forcing them to throw the ball, taking them out of their comfort zone. Cameron Ward's a baller. We need to pay more attention to Cameron Ward. Washington State, I'm pretty sure the AP top 25 has already come out, so Washington State has put themselves in that conversation. So, again, Pac-12 is loaded. 20 Ole Miss versus 24 Tulane. I was excited to watch this game until I realized Tulane's starting quarterback, Mr. Pratt, wasn't playing. That took all the interest out of it for me. Ole Miss took it home 37-20 against Tulane. I really think if Tulane would have had their starting quarterback, they would have been able to put up a hell of a fight and potentially win this game. I truly believe that. Jackson Dart, keep doing what you're doing, man. Seriously, I like it. Number 21, Duke. They did not fold. They did not fall off. 42-7 victory over Lafayette. It's only gonna get better. Riley Leonard, the quarterback, perfect. I think he was 12 for 12. He's gonna mess around and get some NFL looks. He's gonna mess around and start being in some mocks and And he's gonna mess around and be the Will Levis or the Daniel Jones. I mean, he gonna start getting some looks. He is. He gonna start getting some looks. I can't wait to see that Duke North Carolina game. Riley Leonard versus Drake May. That's gonna tell a lot. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Nebraska, Colorado. Talk about Colorado all day, man. Deion doing the damn thing. Shedeur Sanders doing the damn thing. Shiloh doing the damn thing. Travis Hunter doing the damn thing. Dylan Edwards doing the damn thing. The receiver number 10, I think, is Oliver Weaver. Xavier Weaver doing the damn thing. I mean, they're going to be hard to beat. If they can get their O-line together and if they can solidify a pass rush, Colorado is going to be hard to beat because Deion, he ain't playing. Like, he ain't playing. I think they moved up to 18. They got to, I ain't even, yeah. Watch out for Colorado, y'all. Number 23, A&M against Miami. Miami put themselves in the top 25, 48-33 victory over Texas A&M. Tyler Van Dyke looked like that guy this week. They had a receiver with 3 touchdowns. I can't remember his name. Only reason I'm mentioning that is because I think he's a junior, and he had more touchdowns in this one game than he had in his whole college career. So that's pretty exciting if you ask me. Miami looked good. The speed is showing. Prayers to the young man who was taken out on a stretcher, I believe. Just never want to see that. You just never want to see that. That's never good for anybody. You never want to see that. Never. Clemson, number 25 Clemson against Charleston Southern. 66-17 victory for Clemson. I guess they decided they'll score some points this time. So I can't really. I like the quarterback. I like Will Shipley. But outside of that, I don't really know what else Clemson can do. Now they done got themselves in a situation where they gonna have to win games. That was an ACC matchup that y'all lost on opening night. That wasn't a non-conference game. That was a conference matchup that y'all took an L on. So it's gonna take more than this Charleston Southern victory for y'all to bounce back from that. Just saying. Let's see if we got anything else here worthy of being talked about. Another FCS school, James Madison, beat Virginia 36-35. That's pretty interesting. Virginia's looking like they're going to have a pretty bad season. Gotcha. What else we got? Georgia Tech bounced back against the Louisville fall apart. They beat South Carolina State 48-13. Let's go Yellow Jackets. Kentucky over Eastern Kentucky 28-17. David Leary had a 4-touchdown performance. That's pretty damn good. What we got? Iowa State, in-state rivalry. Iowa 20, Iowa State 13. Iowa make, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we'll see Iowa in the top 25 again. Michigan State 45-14 over Richmond. Somewhat breaking news out of Michigan State. They fired their head coach, Mel Tucker, former University of Georgia defensive coordinator. I don't necessarily know the reason as of right now, but it had to be pretty serious. I know I saw something saying that he was being put under investigation, and I don't even know if it was a whole 24 hours after that before he was fired. So we'll see what comes out in the coming days. So. What else we got? Arkansas over Kent State 28-6. Arkansas just got to win games. They just got to stay competitive until we get to the SEC competition, and then once they start playing the A&Ms, the Bamas, the Auburns, that's when we're going to see what Arkansas is truly about. It happens every year. Are they going to be 10-2 or are they going to be 8-4? So we'll see. What else we got? Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh. This was an interesting one. I think Pittsburgh's going to be a sleeper in the Big 12. They're going to be able to compete. I'm looking forward to seeing how they play once we get to Big 12 competition. They were able to knock off Pitt. I don't really see Pitt being too competitive. They've lost a lot over the last couple of years. They lost Kenny Pickett. They lost the transfer quarterback that they got from USC, who's now at BYU. They lost Jordan Addison to USC. They lost the running back Izzy to the NFL. He's with the Jets now. I mean, Pitt has lost a lot. They have. Pitt has lost a lot. What else we got? Florida bounced back. Florida with a big bounce back win against McNeese, 49-7. That's an expected victory, so we'll see what they can do other than that. Maryland is 2-0, 38-20. Who is it? Charlotte. 38-20 victory over Charlotte. I'm keeping my eye on Tua's little brother from Maryland. I can't pronounce that dude. Lil Tua. That's what I'm gonna call him. Lil Tua. Went to Maryland and he legit, created a name for himself, man. I mean, he's a damn good quarterback. We'll see what he can do. Hopefully Maryland can be competitive. I mean, I can see him going in the mid rounds, maybe 4th, 5th round, but we'll see how they do as a team. What we got, y'all? Minnesota over Eastern Michigan, 25-6. Minnesota 2-0. They beat Nebraska last week. We got Arizona at Mississippi State. That's unusual. Pac-12 SEC matchup, and Arizona almost pulled it out. 31-24 Mississippi State. I don't know what's going on with Will Rogers, man. I don't know. I don't know if it seems like Will Rogers is starting to. It looks like he misses Mike Leach. Like these first 2 games, they have not been Will Rogers type numbers. They haven't. Will Rogers is normally throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game. In this game, he was 13 for 17. Had 3 touchdowns. Granted, they did have Mr. Joe Quavius Marks go for 24 carries and 123 yards and a touchdown, but I just feel like you got to get Will Rogers. You got to get that thing in the air. You got to. South Carolina bounced back from North Carolina last week, 47-21 victory over Furman. Spencer Rattler had over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. We'll see you next week, Spencer. UCLA with a 35-10 victory over San Diego State. I like UCLA's quarterback, Dante Moore from Detroit. I think he's going to be a good one. Kind of reminds me a lot of Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Reminds me a lot of him. Not so much with his legs, but he just looks like him. Like he looks like built like him. He looks like him. That should be fun for Chip Kelly. TCU bounced back 41-6 over Nicholls. They needed that bad. Auburn pulled out a big cross-country win against Cal, 14-10. Auburn got to figure it out, man. I feel like people want to believe that Auburn's going to be so good every year, but they got to figure it out. They haven't been right since Nick Marshall and Trey Mason. Cal is Cal. Sorry. Last but not least, y'all, we're going to finish it out with Oklahoma State, Arizona State. Oklahoma State 27, Arizona State 15. Oklahoma State moves to 2-0. These conferences are competitive. The Pac-12, the Big 12, the upper half of the Big 10. It's a lot of excitement. Even the ACC's got a lot going on. It's very exciting. It is extremely exciting. And it's been a fun season so far. I'm looking forward to next week. Next week we got some better matchups, some more competitive matchups, a couple more conference matchups. A lot of teams are going to open up conference play next week. So next week's video should be a little bit more hype, a little bit more, enthusiasm. But that's what we got, y'all. Week 2, college football. Some things we knew, some surprises, some upsets. But for the most part, I feel like we pretty much where we thought we would be. I do. I feel like we were where we would we are where we would thought we would be. I probably still didn't say that right, but it is what it is. I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank y'all so much. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, share, all that. Love y'all. Thank you. Z out.